What's going on, guys? This is Grant. As promised, this is going to be my second video response to the LSD video, so this is going to be LSD Video Response v2. I've gotten some good questions from my recent viewers, my recent subscribers, and I just want to say thank you for subscribing. I just broke the 500 mark, and hopefully we keep going. Hopefully I get over 1200 is going to be my next aim, so, you know, whatever happens, happens. And now on to the questions. I've got some really good questions that I've written down, and if I didn't get to yours, then I apologize. Either leave a comment on this video or send me a message if you have a question for me to answer. First, I'm going to answer some questions from BSOD Productions. He had quite a few, and there were some pretty good ones, so I'm going to start with his. First question that he asks is, have you done LSD prior to the bad trip? Were they good or memorable? Yes, I have done LSD after the bad trip. No, I didn't learn my lesson. It's just the fact that it really didn't scare me away to the point that, you know, I was going to ward off against it. I mean, it should have, but I don't know, it was a bad experience, but it was an experience to where it opened up my mind to where every time I trip now, I constantly have this epiphany of life and myself, so, I mean, I don't take it for granted. I think now that that experience has passed over and I had a bad trip and I had all that out of my system, nowadays when I do them, I kind of like to sit back and, you know, kind of dig in my own head and kind of swim around my own thoughts and, you know, realize things that I haven't realized before. So, hopefully that answers that first question. Number 2. What other hallucinogens have I done? I've done quite a few. I've done mescaline, I've done peyote, which is pretty much mescaline. I've done psilocybin, which is mushrooms. I've also done stuff that I'm probably not going to do anymore. I did salvia, like what I was talking about in my last LSD Response video, and it was just an experience I didn't like. I just kind of felt like the skin of everything was being ripped apart. It's a little violent experience, so I don't think I'm going to do it again. Tripped on DXM twice, and both times were just a horrible experience. The first time I did it, I did the DXM pills, DXM tablets, and I was horribly out of shape. I mean, you know, my friends had to save me from, you know, being around the street. I was actually laying around on the street, helpless, and they actually picked me up and took me to my friend's couch, and, you know, I think I slept for like 3 days. No, it wasn't 3 days, but I slept for a really long time, and I was just drained. The second time I did it, I drank some Robitussin DM. I don't know if you guys have done it or not. I'm not advising you to do it or not, but I drank a family bottle size of Robitussin DM, and it was a very disgusting feeling. I mean, my stomach was just curling in knots. I mean, I was tripping, I was hallucinating, but I just don't think it was worth it, so I don't advise you doing DXM or drinking Robitussin at all. Third question he asks is LSD like weed? Does it make you high and hallucinate? Can you tell you're on acid? Can you carry conversation without people telling you're on it? And this is a huge question, but I'm gonna try and tackle it first. LSD like weed. LSD is not like weed. For me, I don't know about your experiences, for me, weed is nothing like LSD. LSD just gets my mind just going, and my mind just tends to wander off from everywhere. Does it make you high and hallucinate? Yes, it makes you hallucinate. I don't know about the high feeling. I guess you can say you can get high off of LSD, but, you know, once you start doing acid and you feel it and you go through the experience, you kind of look back on it and you'll see that, you know, being high is kind of a laid-back experience, but tripping on acid, it's more of an intense kind of session where everything is heightened. Your sight, your smell, your taste, like, where everything is kind of just put into overdrive. Can you tell that you're on acid? Yes, you can tell you're on acid. If you've just done acid, if that was all that you did that night and you haven't drank or anything, I'm pretty sure you can tell, because just from the visuals and from the body trips meaning you can actually feel yourself tripping, your muscles tense up, you tend to sweat a lot, just that and the visuals. I mean, you can look around and you can actually see things melting, which was another question that he asked, and I'll answer that later. Can you carry conversation without people telling you're on it? It really depends on how experienced you are with tripping. There's people that have done it to the point to where they can actually eat it and do it and sit there and have this long, drawn-out conversations, beautiful conversations. You know, they're not boring conversations. Like I said, it really depends on your experience. If you've just done it once or twice or you've never done it before, I'm pretty sure you're gonna be able to tell that person is tripping. I really don't know how to explain that. I can actually talk to someone and, you know, realize that he or she is tripping just from the things that person says and just from the way they say it. Fourth and last question that he asks is, when you say people are melting, can you elaborate? Well, I'm gonna try and use some of these webcam applications to try and describe the way people melt. This is pretty much what I consider trails, little bits and pieces of what's going on kind of gets left behind. So if you see someone moving, it kind of trails behind them. Once you start tripping, you know what I'm talking about. There's that instance where things kind of gets bloated. I've had this happen to me on LSD and also on mushrooms. And what else? I look really funny right now. But yeah, things kind of just melt off of people's faces. I've tripped in church before, which wasn't a very good idea. I ended up sitting in the hallway and trying to make a phone call to my friends and have them trying to come and pick me up because I was just freaking out. I mean, there were people turning into clowns and all the cars outside kind of started looking like lowriders. They were kind of bopping up and down and stuff. But to better experiences, I guess, you know, once you try, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's really hard to explain because everyone has a different trip. You know, I can't like tell you what I experienced and have you experience someone else. So, Pierce Iori, I don't know if I'm saying your name right. He mentions that his friend sees demons when they trip, and this is something that I can relate to. There was one instance where I was sitting there in my friend's truck and we were tripping on acid. We were hitting whippets in his truck and we were waiting for the rain to stop because he was just way too wasted to drive. And I hit this whippet and I'm tripping nuts and I turn around and I look at him and he goes, "Hey Gordon, are you about ready to ride?" I just freaked out for a second and kind of regathered myself and I was like, okay, I'm good. Busy Monk, I'm sorry I messed up your name, and hopefully you'll have more luck with the cacti this time than the other time. Anyway guys, that's gonna be it for me. I'm gonna finish the rest of my Jaeger. If you have more questions for me, put it on this video or send me a message and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.